Okay, we're moving on to chapter 12 and really a different focus in this course. And chapter 12 is on strategic performance measurement. In the financial community, of course, companies are gauged on their financial numbers, sales, profit margins, growth, etc. But there's a lot that goes into creating a successful company. And there are numbers that aren't necessarily financial numbers that will help a company to develop measures so that employees can improve on to make the company more successful. For instance, I have been using a local Firestone here for years for my car services, and my satisfaction with them is pretty high because I trust them. So they have really good customer service. They have always done a pretty good job. When they did make a mistake, they were quick to correct it and not charge me. And so they've been, uh, um, these are the type of things that you can't measure customer satisfaction, where you can measure it, but they're not necessarily a financial measure, but they do impact the companies significantly. And so we're going to be talking about some of those and what's called the balanced scorecard. So it's not just financial measures, it's other measures like um, has our financial performance improved? Do customers recognize that we are delivering more value? Have we improved key business processes so that we can deliver more value to the customer? So have they trained the mechanics so that they know my particular brand of car? Are we maintaining our ability to change and improve? There was a store called Party City that has filed for bankruptcy. I don't know if they're going out of business. I think they are. But it used to be a fun store, and people would go in there and they just had a pretty good vibe. But then other companies started getting the products that you could get in Party City. They didn't update their facilities, so people stopped going, which resulted in them going out of business. So you have this vision and strategy, and what are the financial goals? What customers do we want to serve, and how are we going to win and retain them? What internal business processes are critical to providing value to customers? So the balanced scorecard focuses on financial, of course. You have to measure these financial performance, internal business processes, the customer, and then learning and growth. For learning and growth, here are some of the types of measures that you might use for recruiting: percent of outstanding interview candidates that have accepted our job offer, skills development, percentage of employees that strongly agree with the statement, I am consistently given the resources that I need to do my job, compensation and advancement, percentage of leadership positions filled with internal candidates. So these are all uh, performance measurements that managers may have, that the HR department may have. And again, these aren't necessarily financial measures, but they do impact the business. Internal business process measures, innovation, number of new products developed, product and service quality, number of warranty claims. So if they don't have a lot of warranty claims, and then the product must be doing what it's intended to do. Agility, number of modular product designs, cost of quality, time, delivery cycle time, lean resource management, overhaul equipment effectiveness. So these are some for internal business processes. For customer measures, percentage of repeat customers, number of customer referrals, number of customers that say, I would refer a family member to you. Financial measures, of course, sales from new customers, sales from existing customers, sales from products less than 3 years old, patent protected sales, profitability ratios, cash flow, profits, trend performance, market performance. So Again, these are different types of measures that some of these obviously are financial measurements, but not necessarily in the financial statements. So, financial versus non-financial measures. The balanced scorecard rejects the notion that improving process-oriented measures automatically leads to financial success. Including a financial perspective serves the purpose of holding organizations accountable for translating improvements in non-financial performance to bottom line results. In other words, let's do things that actually enhance our business, not things that we only think enhance it. If favorable trends in a company's learning and growth, internal business processes, and customer measures do not translate into financial results, the balanced scorecard is designed to force the organization to re-examine its strategy for differentiating itself from competitors. So in other words, well, these are the things we're doing to help our, grow our customers. They're not working. So we need to make sure that we have something to make us evaluate that. All right, so learning objective 2, identify the 4 types of quality cost and use them to create a quality cost report. Quality of conformance, costs incurred to prevent defects or that result from defects in products are known as quality cost. So you're working hard to make sure that the product that you're producing doesn't have defects and works as it's supposed to. When the overwhelming majority of products produced conform to design specifications and are free from defects, then your quality is good. Prevention and appraisal costs. Okay, so you have prevention costs, which support activities whose purpose is to reduce the number of defects. So things like making sure that the raw materials meet specifications, making sure that the employees are trained properly, they know how to use the equipment, they know how to assemble the parts, and then appraisal costs. So now we've got the part, we're going to look at it and make sure that it conforms to specifications. Internal failure costs are incurred as a result of identifying defects before they are shipped, which is better than identifying them after they're shipped, and then the customer has to file a warranty claim and isn't happy with you. And then external failure cost, again, you didn't pick this up, so you've got to now fix it, the problem for the customer, or replace it. Prevention costs would be quality training, quality circles. Appraisal would be testing and inspecting incoming materials, final product testing. Internal failure costs are scrap, spoilage, rework. So this product isn't right, so now I've got to do it again. It's like they say, how come you always have time to do it over, but don't have time to do it right? External failure costs, cost of servicing, cost of replacing a product, cost of fixing the product, and also you've irritated customers, so you lose sales. This is a quality cost report, and you can see it's kind of busy, but it is identifying prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure cost, and external failure cost. And so this is based on 50 million, but you're spending 2% in year 2 on prevention costs versus 1.3% in year 1. Your appraisal costs have gone up, so you're looking at more of the different products and making sure they comply. Your internal failure costs have gone up because you've identified more issues. You've identified more parts that don't comply with standards. However, this is translated into much lower external failure costs, and that should translate into better customer satisfaction, and that should translate into more referral business. So in this case, you have 3, 5, 11% of your cost were into finding and fixing the problem before it goes out, versus 4, 6, 7.7%. However, your external failure costs are only 4% versus before it's 10.3%. This would be great if this, happens in real life, that you're willing to spend the money, but and you are now fixing it before it goes out the door. Uh, this quality cost information helps managers see the financial significance of defects. So you can see, how much are we spending on warranty costs? How much are we spending on appraisal costs? It helps managers identify the importance of quality problems and helps them see whether their quality costs are poorly distributed. There are limits. Simply measuring and reporting quality does not solve the problem. You have to go, okay, we have a problem. Now let's fix it. Results usually lag behind because, okay, you've identified the problem and now we've got to make corrections. The most important quality, lost sales, is often omitted from quality reports because it's difficult to determine. All right, so let's calculate throughput time, delivery cycle time, manufacturing cycle efficiency, and overall equipment effectiveness. So operating performance measures, part one, wait time. Okay, so you have delivery cycle time, and that's from the time of the order to the time the good is shipped. And that consists of the wait time and the throughput time. Throughput time is, of course, the processing time, the inspection, the moving it to the um, area that's going to be shipped, and the queue time, when it's lined up ready to get shipped. Process time is the only value added time because process time is when you're actually making the product. So manufacturing cycle efficiency is the process time divided by the manufacturing cycle time. Overall equipment effectiveness is the utilization rate times the efficiency rate times the quality rate. Utilization rate is really the actual runtime divided by the machine time available. If your machine is available 10 hours a day, you're using it 8 hours, your efficiency is 80%. Actual runtime divided by ideal runtime would be, well, if you thought that the ideal runtime was 1 minute and it's taking 2 minutes, well, that's 2. The defect-free output divided by total output is just simply, what percentage of the products meet specifications. A TQM team at Norton Corp has recorded the following. What is the throughput time? So the throughput time, let's look here, is the process plus inspection plus move plus queue. So move, inspection, queue, and process. So 0.4, 0.6, 1.1, so that's 10.4. What is the delivery cycle time? So the delivery cycle time is from the order received to the goods are shipped. So that includes the throughput time and the wait time. So that's 10.4, and we add the 3 days, so that's 13.4. So it takes 13.4 days from order entry. Okay. Um, let's see. So what is the manufacturing cycle efficiency? Let's look at the process time divided by these other factors. And the process time is 0.2 out of 13.4. Or I'm sorry, 10.4 doesn't include the wait time. So that's 1.9%. Provided the following for what is the machine's OEE. So the utilization rate is the 450 minutes divided by the machine times available. The efficiency rate is 3.8 units per minute divided by the 4 minute per rate, which is what they are standard is. And then the quality rate is 16,000 units went out the door without defects out of 17,290. So that's 9.925. So the overall, the OEE is 0.615. So how do we build this? Four categories are interrelated. Companies' employees need to continuously learn and grow, so they need to get better skilled, and that improves the business processes, which makes the customer happy and improve customer satisfaction, where they should take into account the value they're receiving, should improve financial results. So you've got learning and growth, internal business processes, customer, and financial. And so they all kind of feed into each other. And these are some of the uh, criteria or some of the measurements that we looked at earlier, that really should have an impact on your financial. Now, you've got to have a positive impact on financial, or you're just really wasting your time. So, in essence, the ballot scorecard lays out a theory of how the company can take concrete actions to attain its desired outcomes. The strategy for Jaguar seems plausible, but it's a theory. It's somebody's idea that, hey, this should work. So, one of the advantages of the balanced scorecard is that it continually tests the theory's underlying management strategy. If you tie incentive compensation to performance measures, it's going to have a bigger impact. People like bonuses, and so they're going to, what gets measured gets improved. So managers must be confident that the performance measures, that they're accurate, that they're good, that they actually translate into better financial performance. So this is something that's taken a hit really with recent elections, um, environmental, social, and governance. A lot of companies were paying attention to that. There are a lot of people that are concerned about the environment, global warming, etc., and the impact companies are having on their environment. Um, as I said, there are, I think, lawsuits out now to keep companies from actually doing these kind of things. So the balanced scorecard provides a useful framework for organizing and managing the types of ESG performance measures, but you know, here are some of them, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them because of the problems today where companies are not doing this. All right, so really there's not a lot of math here. There's some math as far as the cycle time. Overall, though, the objective here, and you will have, most companies will have KPIs, key performance indicators. And for instance, I work for Assurion that provides insurance for cell phone users. And one of the main criteria for them is the retention rate. How many people that take the insurance keep it? And so, how do you ensure that they do keep it? By providing value added services. So, to them, that would translate directly into financial performance, because if you keep a customer, then there's not the cost of trying to get another customer. It's just you continue to get that revenue stream over and over again. So the higher your retention rate is, the more successful your business is. And so you might get some KPIs for, well, how do we measure retention rate? How do we improve retention rate? And so you would have items like that. So you probably are going to be held accountable for different types of key performance indicators. And this chapter kind of gave you a look into some of the ones that you may be responsible for.